Hello students, standard 10, chapter number 14, statistics. So today we start the new chapter which is a statistics chapter number 14. Now in 9th standard you already studied that chapter number 14 in which you study the different graphs, bar graph, frequency, polygon, right? And you also study the mean, mode and median, right? Histogram you draw in the 9th standard. So that type of graph you already studied in the 9th standard. Now in 10th standard, what we have to learn? Most the 4 points are there which you have to study in the standard 10. Okay. Which 4 points? See, first point is a mean of group data. Mean of group data. How we can find out? If group data is given, then how we can find out its mean? That thing we have to discuss in our chapter number 14, right? Then after, another thing, mode of group data we have to find out in this chapter. Then after, median of group data, how we can find out? That thing we learn in chapter number 14. And cumulative frequency is graph. We have to learn in this chapter. Okay, so when 4 points we have to discuss in this chapter number 14, statistics. Okay, first we start with the first point, mean of group data. How we can find out? That thing we start, mean of group data. Okay, now see, mean what we already studied in previous standard. So mean means what? Suppose I give one of the example. Suppose I give the 5 observations. So 2, 3, 5, 6 and 4. If I say find out the given observations mean. So what you do? You add them. 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4. Divide by how many number of observations? There is a 5 observations. Right? So what you do? You add them. 2 plus 3, 5 plus 5 is a 10. 10 plus 6, 16 plus 4, 20. So we get the 20 by 5. So we get the 4. So mean of the given observation is what? 4. Right? So we already find that mean in the previous standard. But as here mentioned, group data is given. Then how we can find out the mean? That thing we have to learn. Okay. Now first of all, group data means what? That thing we discuss. Okay. Suppose here I take the example 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, right? So observe the classes, or you can say this is the data is given in a group wise, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, right? Another thing, the given class is a continuous class or not, how we can decide? Suppose the first class, observe, its lower limit is 0. This is called the lower limit, and this one is called the upper limit, right? Upper limit. So observe that lower limit is 0, upper limit is 10. Now this is the first class, and in second class its lower limit is a previous class upper limit, same as a previous class upper limit, right? So whenever that may give the class, that way the class is given, then you can say the given class is a continuous class. Okay, if it may not give that way continuous form, so suppose 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15. So observe in that classes the upper limit of the first class, which is not a second class, lower limit, right? So this is not a continuous class. This one is a continuous class. Okay, both are the group data, but which is a continuous and which is not a continuous, that thing here I define. Okay, this is a continuous class, this is not a continuous class. Understand? Now, another thing we have to find out from this one, which is a class mark. How we can find out the class mark? And you can say the class mark is represented by xi. Or you can say class mark is we can say is a mid value. You can say mid value of the given class. How we can find out? So there is an equation for the class mark is upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Suppose we want to find out the that class mean value, or you can say that class mark. So what we have to do? Lower limit is 0, upper limit is 10. So class mark of that class is 10 plus 0 divided by 2. Upper limit is 10 and lower limit is 0. So 10 plus 0 divided by 2. So what we get? 10 by 2 is a 5. So that class mean value is what? 5 only. Right? We all are knowing between 0 to 10 which number we get? 5 only, right? That way also this is very simple, but that equation you have to remember for the class mark, or you can say mean value, or it is represented by xi. Its equation is upper limit plus lower limit, or you can say lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So we get that class mean value is a 1. Suppose you want to find out that class mean value or class mark. So it is very simple. What you have to do? Lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So we get the 30 by 2. So we get the 15. So 15 is a class mark of that given class 10 to 20. Okay. So I hope you already get the how we can find out the class mark. Okay. Another thing, which is a class size. Class size. It is denoted by H or small c. Or small c. Okay. So class size how we can find out? See, if it is a continuous class, here I represent 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. It is a continuous class. Then class size you can find out. Class size you can find out upper limit minus lower limit. If it is a continuous class, then class size how we can find out? Upper limit minus lower limit. So here for this class you observe here upper limit is 10, lower limit is 0. 10 minus 0, so what we get? 10. 10 is a class size. So H value is what? 10. Right? Same way observe here upper limit minus lower limit. So 20 minus 10 you get the 10 only. 13 minus 20 you get the 10 only. Right? So that way you can find out the class size of the continuous class. Or another way the class size, another way you can define the difference between the two class marks, or you can say consecutive two class marks difference. It is also represented as a class size. Okay, so that way you can also find out the class size. Now I hope all of you clear with the class mark and the class size, because this is the basic thing. Then after we have to find out the mean formula we have to apply. Okay, now we discuss about the mean formula. Now there are three methods for finding out the mean. Okay, so we discuss here which three methods are there and its formula we have to discuss. So first method is direct method. Direct method. Second method here I write, which is a assumed mean method. Assumed mean method. And third method, which is a step deviation method. Step deviation method. Right? Now first of all here I write the all three methods formula. So observe here the formula of the direct method is what? And mean is represented by x bar. Right? So mean, or you can say the direct method's formula is mean x bar is equal to sigma fi xi upon sigma fi. So that is a formula of direct method. Mean is equal to sigma fi xi. Xi we already defined class mark. Its multiplication with the frequency. Right? Each and every class marks and frequency multiplication we have to do, and its summation. This is a sigma symbol. Sigma symbol is represent the summation of fi xi. In numerator and in denominator, summation of all frequency. Sigma fi means what? Whatever the frequency is given, its summation you have to take. The value you have to put here in denominator. Okay, and whatever you get, this is your mean by the direct method. Okay, so this is the formula for the direct method. Mean how we can find out sigma fi xi upon sigma fi. Okay, now we solve one of the examples, so you clear with that how we can apply the direct method. Suppose I take one of the example. Suppose 20 students give the exam, and examination is there are 50 marks exam is there. Okay. So suppose I represent here suppose I make the one table, so you get the idea. Here, suppose this is a class, this is a frequency, right? Suppose there are two students who are getting a marks in between 0 to 10. Here frequency means number of student, right? And class is means the number of marks of the test. So two students there in a class, they are getting a marks in between 0 to 10, right? And suppose I give another 5 students who are getting a marks in between 10 to 20, okay? And thereafter there are 4 students who are getting a mark in between 20 to 30, right? And there are 3 students, they get the marks in between, or suppose we take the 6 students, or 3 students, 6 students we get 30 to 40, and 40 to 50 there are 3 students. So as I told you, 5 plus 2, 7 plus 4 plus 6 and plus 3, so we get the 20, right? 20 students are there, and 20 students getting marks in an examination. That way I arrange. 2 students they are getting a marks in between 0 to 10. 5 students they are getting a marks 10 to 20. 4 students who are getting a marks in between 20 to 30. 6 students who are getting a mark in between 30 to 40, and 3 students who are getting a mark in between 40 to 50. Now anyone say find out that data as mean by using the direct method. So in the direct method formula we require xi value. Frequency value it is given. Frequency value is given. This one is a frequency value, right, of that class. Each and every class frequency value is given. So we make a one table. So here we represent the first is a class. The classes as given 0 to 10, 20 to 20, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. Then after its frequency value we have to write, or you can say Fi value we have to write. That class frequency is 2, that class frequency is 5, that class frequency is 4, that class frequency is 6, and this class frequency is 3, right? Now, as I told you, in a mean by a direct method we require xi value. So that each and every class xi column we have to find out. Xi means what? Class mark. Right, that thing we already discussed. So how we can find out that class mark? Lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. 0 plus 10 divided by 2. So what we get? 10 by 2 is means what? 0 plus 10 divided by 2. So we get the 10 by 2 means what? That class mark is what? 5. Right? That way 10 plus 20, 30 divided by 2. So we get that class mark was 15. That class mark was 25. That class mark was 35. And that class mark is what? 45. Right? So xi value we get, each and every class xi value we represent. But observe in direct method we require xi multiplication with fi. So we have to make another column which is a fi xi. Now in which fi is this one and xi is this one. So each and every class fi xi multiplication we have to write here. So 2 into 5 is 10 only, right? 5 into 15, so 75. Now 25 4s are 100, right? Now 35 6 are, so 35 2s are 70, and 73s are 210, right? And 45 3s are, so 45 2s are 90, and 90 plus 45 135, right? So 135. Now observe the equation. In that fi xi summation we have to do. So here we have to write summation of fi xi. So we have to add all this value. So we get the summation of fi xi value here. So add them. 5 plus 5 we get the 10. So 1 is carry. 1 plus 1 2 plus 7 9 plus 1 10 plus 3 13 3 1 is carry. So 1 plus 1 2 plus 2 4 plus 1 5. 530 we get the summation of fi xi, right? Now in denominator we require sigma fi value. So add all this frequency value. So 2 plus 5 7, 7 plus 4 11 plus 6 17 plus 3 20. Sigma fi value is what? 20. Okay. Now after completing this table, here we have to find out the mean using direct method. So mean formula we have to apply sigma fi xi upon sigma fi. So sigma fi xi value is what? 530 divided by, it is a sigma fi value is 20. So 0 0 is cancelled out, right? Now we get the 53 by 2. So divide them. So 53 divided by 2. So we get the 26.5, right? So mean of this given observation is 26.5, right? Now assume mean method. We have to solve that example by the assume mean method. Now its formula is what? Its formula. Okay. So now we discuss about the assume mean methods, assume mean method and its formula. See in this direct method, first of all, in a direct method, there are we getting the multiplication is larger, right? Another way, here is a smaller class is given and frequency smaller is given. Then after also we get the multiplication of fi xi, we get the larger. Then after we have to add them, right? So if suppose your class is given a bigger number and your frequency is given a larger number, then that's your multiplication is become another the larger number, and whenever you add then it take the too much time, right? So when we have to apply the direct method, whenever your fi value and xi value is given smaller, the whole value of fi and xi which is a smaller one, then it is useful to use the direct method for finding out the mean. Otherwise, you can find out the mean by direct method, but it is a take too much time, and we have required more time for the finding out the mean. Okay, if the fi and xi value is larger, then we have required more time for the finding out the mean in a direct method. That's why we take the another method which take the less time compared to direct method. Whenever the observation given is a larger number, then we have to use the assume mean method. And its formula for finding out the mean is mean x bar is equal to, in which we have to assume our mean. So a is a assumed mean, a plus sigma fi di upon sigma fi. This is the formula for the assume mean methods for finding out the mean. Okay. Now observe here. Here a is our, we have to mean, we have to assume, right? Mean which is a assume, or you can say assume mean. A is represent the assumed mean, which you get from the xi column, or you can say from the class mark column. Another thing, your di value. Di is represent the difference between xi and a. Di, your difference is represent xi and a is represent as a di, and fi we all are know which is a frequency, right? So that equation you have to remember for the assume mean method. Equation is mean is equal to a plus sigma fi di upon sigma fi, where a is represent the assumed mean, di is represent the difference between xi and a, and fi is represent as a frequency. Okay. Now if for the same sums, suppose we have to find out the mean by using assume mean method, so we have to make a first of all the table. So here I represent the table, right? So first of all I write the class. Suppose here the class. For the same sum, we have to make the table. So in class, the take 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, right? And its frequency Fi is given, which is a 2. First class frequency is 2, second class frequency is 5, third class frequency 4, 6, and 3. And here we define sigma Fi. Summation of all frequencies is what? 20. We already defined summation of all frequencies is what? 20. That value we have to put in denominator. Okay. Now, as I told you, first of all we have to assume mean. A value you have to always assume from the xi column. Xi column is what? It is a class mark column, right? And class mark we already find in our previous example. How we can find out the class mark for each and every class? Its lower limit and upper limit summation divided by 2. 10, 0 plus 10 divided by 2. So we get the 5. That class mark what? 10 plus 20 divided by 2. 30 by 2 means 15. 20 plus 30. So 50 by 2. 25. Here is a 35. Here is a 45. Now, most important thing here in mean formula we have required first of all a value. So a value, as I told you, many of the students are getting mistake there. They assume mean from the frequency column. This is a wrong. Always you have to assume a value from the xi column. You can take from the xi column any value as a. But what you have to do? You have to take your a value, which is the midmost of the xi column. So from the upper one, from the lower one, midmost is this one. So this is our a. If suppose midmost number is not possible, then you can take the upper one or lower one, right? You can take any value as a. It is not compulsory that 25 we have to take as a. You can also take 15 as a value, right? But for the easy way of the calculation, that's why we take the midmost value of the xi column, which is as a. Okay. After assuming that a value, here we require the di value. So di is what? Xi and a is different. So we have to make the di column. Di column, as I told you, which is represent the xi and a is different. Right? Now, suppose we want to find out that class di value. That class di value. So di value is what? That class xi value. That class xi value is what? 25 minus a value is what? 25. So we get the 0 only. So that class di value is what? 0. Now suppose upper one class di value we want to find out. So as per the equation, upper one class xi value, which is a 15, minus a value what we assume? 25. So 15 minus 25 what we get? Minus 10. So upper class di value is minus 10. Suppose first class di value we have to find out. So first class xi value we have to put 5 minus a value which we assume 25. So we get the minus 25 minus 25 is what? Minus 20. Now suppose that class di value we have to find out. So that class xi value we have to write first, which is a 35 minus what do you have to assume? 25. So 35 minus 25 is what? 10. And that class di value, so first of all we have to write its xi value minus a value, so we get the 20. So these all are the di value of minus 20, minus 10, 0, 10 and 20. Now observe that di is multiplied with the fi. So next column we have to make for the fi di. Frequency column is here and di column is here. So one by one you have to multiply. So for that class 2 into minus 20, so minus 40 we get, right? Fi into di, with multiplication we have to do. Now 5 into minus 10, so we get the minus 50, right? 4 into 0, so we get the 0 only. Okay. 6 into 10, so we get the 60. And 3 into 20, so we get the 60. Now, whatever the fi di, its summation we have to write. So sigma fi di, right? So its summation we have to do. So negative number summation is what? Minus 90. Positive number summation is what? This is the minus 90. Positive number summation is what? Plus 120. So 120 minus 90, so we get the 30 only. Right? So sigma fi di is what? 30. So which we have to put here. Sigma fi value we find which is a 20 and a value we assume for the 25. So first of all we write all this value. Here a is equal to 25, right? Sigma fi di value is 30 and sigma fi value is 20. So using the assume mean method, we find out the mean. So mean x bar is equal to its formula we apply. Say a plus sigma fi di upon sigma fi. Now we put the a value which is a 25 plus sigma fi di value is a 30 divided by sigma fi value is a 20. So 0 0 is a cancel out. Now 3 by 2 we get. 3 by 2 if you divide then you get the 1.5. 3 by 2 means what? 1.5. So mean value we get which is a 26.5. Using assume mean method we get the 26.5. Right? Observe in direct method we also get the 26.5 mean and in assume mean method we also get the 26.5. But it is easier for us whenever use the assume mean method. In which term? Suppose here we do the each and every times the multiplication and multiplication is become a larger and larger. Suppose observation is given is greater. Then summation is take a little bit time. But here it is easy for 0, minus 10, minus 20, 10 and 20. Right? So if you multiply them then it is a little bit easy for us. One of the term is become a 0. But it is also take the too much time compared to direct method. It take the little bit less time. But right now it is its data is whenever it is given a very big value, then it is also multiplication is become a larger, right? And that time we have required more time for calculating. So that's why another method is there, which is a step deviation method. So using that, you can easily find out the mean of the given observation. Okay. For the same sum, we find the step mean of the given observation using the step deviation method. So its formula you have to remember. Its formula, which is a mean formula, mean x bar is equal to a plus sigma fi ui upon sigma fi into h. That thing we already discussed. H means what? H means class size. Okay. So first of all, a we already defined in assume mean. A is what? Assume mean. You have to assume mean from the xi column or class mark column. Here ui is represent the xi minus a divided by h, right? Xi minus a divided by h. Ui is represent this thing, okay? And sigma fi frequency summation and h is equal to, and h is a class size. Class size we can find out when our continuous class is given. Then upper limit minus lower limit. That way we can find out the class size. Okay. Now for the same data we find the mean using a step deviation method. So that formula you have to remember. The step deviation formula is what? A plus sigma fi ui upon sigma fi into h. Now students, I hope first of all what you have to do, for the mean of the group data, you have to 5 by times that 3 formula you have to write, because it is very important. If you remember the formula, then you can solve the sums, right? So that 3 formula you have to write 5 times, and after remembering that you have to solve the any sums. Okay. So now for the same data we use the step deviation method and find out the mean. So we make one table. We make one table or this one. Here we write the class, then after frequency we write. So class is 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and 40 to 50. Okay. Now its frequency is given. So frequency is what? 2, 5, 4, 6 and 3. Right? Now observe here we have to assume in that step deviation method we have required first of all a value, and as I told you a value you have to assume from the class mark column. So now we have to find out the class mark, or you can say xi column, right? So xi column we can easily find out 0, midmost value of the xi column. So midmost value of the xi column is 25. So that we assume a value we assume is 25. Okay. Now here we have required ui value. So ui column we have to make, as I told you, ui is what? Xi minus a divided by h. Now for finding out that ui value, we require class size value h. So h, how we can find out? As I told you, here in a class, observe upper limit minus lower limit, 10 minus 0, so we get what? 10. So observe each and every class, 20 minus 10, so we get 10. 30 minus 20, we get 10. 40 minus 30, we get 10. 50 minus 40, we get 10. So each and every class size what? 40. Sorry, each and every class size what? 10. Right? So here the given observation class size is 10. So that h value we have to put here. Okay. A value we assume as 25 and xi value we have to take as class y. Okay. Suppose I want to finding out that class ui value. So for that, its xi value we have to put first of all 25 minus whatever we assume a, that value we have to put, we assume as a is 25, divide by h value, which is 10. So what we get? 25 minus 25, 0 by 10, so we get a 0 only. So their class ui value is 0. Okay. Now suppose its previous class ui value you have to find out. So their class xi value you have to put here first of all. 15 minus a value which you assume 25, divide by your class size h value, which is 10. Now 15 minus 25, so we get the minus 10, and denominator there is a 10. So what we get? Minus 1. Okay. Now suppose that class ui value we have to find out. So what we have to do? That class xi value we have to write first, minus a value whatever you assume, which is 25, divided by class size is 10. So what we get? Minus 20 divided by 10. So we get the minus 2. Okay. Now that class ui value we have to find out. So that class xi value we have to write, which is 35 minus assuming which is 25 divided by h value is 10. So we get the 10 by 10 is equal to 1. And this class xi value is 45 minus assuming is 25 divided by 10. So we get the 20 divided by 10 is equal to 2. Now each and every time same process you have to not required to do. This is the first example. That's why I do here each and every class is ui value find. Now what you have to remember, if whatever the a value you get for that class, your ui value is always 0. Whatever you assume for a, its ui value always 0, and its upper classes value you have to write is a negative, minus 1, minus 2. Suppose here is another class is there, the minus 3, minus 4, that way you have to write. And in lower one, all observation of the classes you have to write positive value, 1, 2, 3, 4, that way. Okay. So no need to every time that explanation you have to give. Whatever the a you assume, its ui value is 0. In upper one you have to represent the minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. In lower one you have to represent lower classes you have to represent 1, 2, 3, 4, that way. Okay. Now we require ui's multiplication with fi. So fi ui column we require. So ui column is there. Here is a fi column. So 1 by 1 we multiply 2 into minus 2 is a minus 4. Here is a 5 into minus 1, so we get the minus 5. Here is a 4 into 0, it is a 0 only. Now 6 into 1, we get the 6. And 3 into 2, we get the 6. Now fi ui summation we require, the sigma fi ui. So its summation we have to do. So 4 minus 5, minus 9 we get 6 plus 6, so we get the plus 1. So 12 minus 9, so we get the plus 3, right? So fi ui value we get as a plus 3. Another value we require sigma fi. So summation of all frequency we already find in a previous question, which is a 20 only, right? And class size we find here, which is a 10. So here we first of all write the all data which we have to put in equation. A value we assume as a 25. Sigma fi ui value we get as a plus 3. Sigma fi value we get 20, and class size we get as a 10. So now using a step deviation method we find the mean. So mean formula we mean x bar is equal to a plus sigma a phi ui upon sigma a phi into h. So we put the value, a value is a 25 plus a phi value is a 3 divided by sigma a phi value is a 20 into h value is a 10. Now most probably, sir, so what you have to do, you have to first of all give that second term simplification first, then you have to add in a first one. Okay, so these two terms are in multiplication, so that 0 is a cancel out. So what we get? 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 means what? 1.5. So you get the 26.5. So mean of the given observation using a step deviation, again we get the 26.5. So what thing we conclude? Now observe another thing. Here, whenever we write the UI column, so its value we get the very less, right? So that's why its multiplication we get is very less. So it's take a less time compared to the remaining two method. Okay, that's why the step deviation method it is take a very less time compared to these two methods. Okay. Now what we think we conclude? We conclude that thing mean we find by the direct method, assumed mean method and step deviation method we get the same answer. Observe here, we get the same answer 26.5, 26.5 and 26.5. Right? For the same observation we calculate the mean, we get the same answer. Another thing, as I told you, whenever the direct method, when we have to apply, if the smaller value of fi and xi is given, then we have to use the direct method. Otherwise, it will take too much time. Right? If the data is given a very large, then you have to use the assumed mean method or step deviation method. Right? Most probably, we have to use the step deviation method because it is take the its observation are become very less. And its multiplication is become very smaller, so its addition is also we can easily find out, so that's why we can easily get the mean value. Okay, so that way we have to remember the direct method, assumed mean method and step deviation method, and its sum we have to solve in our exercise 14.1. Okay, so in 14.1 there is given find out the mean of the